Well, we would like to welcome you to another edition of Shelf Life Online. And once again, we thank you all, those who have taken the time to send me comments, positive and negative. A lot more positive, thank you, which I'm glad to see. I'm doing my best here. I'm not used to talking in front of a little camera, so anyways, I'd like to present you with four new fiction finds and that are very highly recommended, and Shelf Life recommends only the best books. Now, the first book I would like to draw your attention to is Bad Axe County by John Galligan. This is published by Atria, and it retails for $35. It is a very interesting book. It features Heidi White, whose parents died about 15 years ago. It was first thought it was a murder-suicide, that the father killed the mother, but she never believed that. And she stayed in the town. Now she is the deputy sheriff, because the other sheriff's gone. He was kind of corrupt. And she's looking into different aspects of the killing, and there's also missing runaway girls. There's Pepper Greengrass, her name is, and she is sort of run away with a pimp, and she's sort of being held against her will too, really. But Heidi is out to find not only her parents' real killer, but she's also trying to get Pepper back alive and well. There's a great deal of suspense in the book. The book is told through the eyes of Heidi and Pepper, and it is a very interesting book. It is the second book in the series, and I'm sure there will be a lot more. At least let's hope so. So the next book I would like to draw your attention to is The Warsaw Protocol by Steve Berry. This is part of the Cotton Malone series, which is a great, I think they're up to book 19 of it. What you get with a Steve Berry book is not just a mystery thriller, it's also steeped very deeply in history. His characters and situations, there's a lot of historical perspective in what he is writing. And in this book, which by the way is published by Minotaur, and it retails for $37.99. Cotton is out to look for one of the 7 artifacts that were part of the death of Christ. And to find one gets you an admission to a special sort of bidding war for evidence against the president of Poland. So it's very, very complex. And as usual, Cotton Malone gets into a lot of deadly and dangerous situations, but the fact that he survived this far means he knows what he's doing. If there's one negative, I wish they had have included Cassiopeia Witt, who is a character from a lot of the past Cotton Malone books. She was his sort of girlfriend. At one time, they were deadly enemies, but she only makes a brief appearance at the end of the book, unfortunately, so hopefully that's a sign that she's going to be in the next book, and you know there will be another Cotton Malone book, because they're all so good and they're all gripping and very highly recommended. Now, the next book I would like to draw your attention to is These Women by Ivy POCHODA. It's published by Echo, and it retails for $34.99. Now, it is a serial killer book, but not your traditional serial killer book. It's not like police are actively seeking out a serial killer non-stop, and it's basically told through the eyes of 5 women who were part of the serial killer, or are investigating, or have friends who died. Essie Perry is the head of police, and she is looking into the murders that took place as far back, actually 15 years ago. The killer was never really found. So the book is told through the eyes of several women who either had family who died or knew people who died as a result of the serial killer. There's some very interesting characters, but it is mainly the characterization that really drives this book full throttle. And you don't really care for the moment who the serial killer is, like you do want to know, but it's also most important that you are seeing life and how it has affected people who were part of the serial killer's world, and who lost friends and family to the serial killer. So it's a bit dark in places, but it makes for a very riveting read, And like I said, it's the characterization that really makes the book work so well. So the final book I'd like to draw your attention to, Stephen King, If It Bleeds. Stephen King is the eternal, oh, he's like an eternal teenager that takes great glee in making us squirm. This book, by the way, is published by Scribner and it retails for $39.99. This is not a novel. It is 4 short stories. As we have seen, Stephen King sometimes works best with his 4 short stories, as we have seen in books where he has written The Shawshank Redemption and The Body, which became the movie Stand By Me back, I think, 1988. So in this book there are 4 short stories. And the first one, which I found the most engrossing, was Mr. Harrigan's Phone. A young boy befriends an older man who's really quite rich, and he goes to help him out. He reads to him. The man is very cheap. He gives him like $5 an hour, but he gives him 4 lottery tickets each year in either like birthday cards, Christmas cards, I think Valentine cards. The boy wins $3,000 in one of the scratch games, and he buys Mr. Harrigan a cell phone. Mr. Harrigan has never had a cell phone. He hates technology, but he loves the cell phone. He finds out current stock market reports, and he loves it. Well, one day Mr. Harrigan dies, and the young boy decides to put the cell phone in his body before he's buried. So the boy misses him, so he decides to call the cell phone. Now the corpse does not answer, but he gets text messages from what he believes Mr. Harrigan's phone, and those who have wronged him or are no good people, he tells Mr. Harrigan in the cell phone in the grave, and those people mysteriously die. So it's a typical Stephen King, like a Twilight Zone episode. Great work. There's another story called If It Bleeds, which is the title of the book, and it features Holly Gibney, who was seen before in the Outsiders trilogy, and she blackmails a man. It's a very interesting, complex story, typical Stephen King style, and Holly almost gets in way over her head, but it's great writing. Well, Stephen King, what do you expect? Another book is called Rat, where a writer goes to a cottage and he meets a rat, and it's almost like the rat is telling him things. Is he really seeing the rat, or is the rat part of his imagination? And the last book is called Life of Chuck, which is more an experimental type piece of fiction about a man called Chuck, and it's humorous in places. It's not quite as supernatural oriented, but it's still a great read, and you're pretty sure there will be a movie based on it soon. So anyways, those are the 4 books this week that I would like to draw your attention to. I hope you will keep reading during this COVID crisis, and stay safe, be well, and keep writing, or contacting me through email, letting me know what you like and dislike. So thanks again. Have a good week, and I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.